This is Audible.
Descent. The Durango Chronicles, Book 2. Written by Bruno Miller. Narrated by Andrew Tell. Chapter 1. Ben Davis stood on the porch with his hands buried deep in the pockets of his coat, staring out over the ridge. The sky was darkening fast, smeared with the last gray-blue streaks of daylight as the wind swept down off the mountain. It carried the scent of snow, sharp and cold and close, and something else he couldn't quite name. A stillness, maybe. A kind of unnatural hush that pressed in around him like the air itself had gone tight with waiting. Below, the clearing looked peaceful in the dusk, quiet and undisturbed. But it was a lie. The churn in Ben's gut hadn't eased since he'd heard the news about Brad. He'd known something was wrong before Joel had even opened his mouth. No amount of cold air or quiet woods could touch it. Gunner pressed up against his leg, the big dog's weight solid and grounding. Ben looked down just long enough to see the soft flicker in those amber eyes. Something close to understanding. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe Gunner, who'd been there when it all went sideways, knew exactly what this night meant and what was at stake. Ben reached down and threaded his fingers into the thick curls at the dog's neck, but there was no comfort in the gesture, just habit. The silence between them wasn't empty, though. It was heavy, dense with guilt, anger, and that coiled, restless need to do something. He should have been with them. He knew that now. Should have scrapped the barter market trip, or at least gone along. Joel and Allie had made a solid case and swayed his better judgment. They'd needed the supplies, and Brad had been stir-crazy, begging for something that resembled a normal day, desperate to feel like a valued part of the team. A quiet afternoon by the river after the market seemed harmless enough, especially at the secluded spot that Ben and Joel had agreed on. But it hadn't been harmless, and now Slade's men had Brad. Ben's jaw clenched, and his right hand curled into a tight fist inside his coat pocket. He didn't have to guess what was happening to his son. His mind painted the worst images for him. If even one of Slade's thugs had laid a hand on Brad, if they'd hurt him in any way, there wouldn't be a compound left standing when Ben was through. He'd burn it all to the ground. And if he had to put a bullet in every last one of Slade's men to make sure they never hurt anyone again, he would do it without hesitation. Ben closed his eyes and forced himself to breathe. Once, twice. Rage wouldn't help Brad. Not tonight. Not yet. He exhaled through his nose and pulled his hand from his pocket, letting it ease open. Cold bit at his fingers, sharp and welcome. This wasn't about vengeance. There was more to it than that, more to it than just getting Brad back. This was a declaration of war on him and his family, and he couldn't let it go unanswered. The rattle of the door handle startled Ben, pulling him into the present from a mind running wild. It was Joel carrying 2 large faded green duffel bags and shouldering a multiple-rifle soft-case backpack that held a couple of spare weapons, including Jack's AR-15 with the homemade suppressor and the MP5 from Ed. Sam and Badger pushed their way past him, more interested in emptying their bladders than why Ben and Gunner were already outside. Joel didn't say anything as he stepped out onto the porch, half dragging, half lugging the heavy duffel bags the last couple of feet to the top of the stairs, where he set them down and let out a breath that fogged in the cold air. He rubbed his hands together, but the motion seemed nervous in nature rather than a response to the dropping temperatures. The kid had his mother's eyes, sharp, searching, and full of thoughts he rarely shared unless pushed. Joel looked more man than boy, although he had for